Hey everyone, Rather Incoherent here, back with more Rome Total War Remastered as the Julii. You'll notice that I've loaded my end of turn autosave. Now, this is blatantly save scumming, but the campaign is easily at a point where I'm going to win, and I think not doing the Marian reforms just makes the game less interesting. Especially since this is right before the Rebel, and I was clearly not... My head just wasn't in the game last time I played, right? How easy is it to fix this? Well, my faction leader is right here. And done. They're fine. It's so easy for me to fix this. And there were numerous other points before this point where I could have fixed it with different methods. So, yeah. I would like to at least try to get the Marian reforms in this campaign. I don't see any reason to, let it slip away at the last second. It's blatantly apparent I'm not going to have them be even remotely meaningful at this point. I only need 6 more settlements in Rome as one of them to win the game, so obviously it's not going to matter that I'm triggering the Marian reforms. But I would like to try. I would at least like to end this campaign and know, does it trigger at 24,000 population, or does it trigger when I upgrade this to tier 5? And one last thing I would like to do is, since I'm planning on bribing several Senate family members down here, I'm actually just going to take these 2 generals and walk them down so that they can eventually command armies over here in the east. Just no reason not to. And now I'm going to skip past the end turn phase and that comical battle against the Seleucid militia stack, because I need to go handle that, and you've already seen it all before. Alright, so now we're back where we were at the end of last video with a slight difference. This time I built a unit here, which apparently I've been forgetting to do, and Egypt didn't attack me as a consequence. Which is fine by me, it just means I'll have to go attack Egypt. Now, looking at this, yeah, they have no problems here. I'm going to leave behind 1 group of mercenaries. They still have no problems, so I'm just going to recruit. Wow, they are very happy. They're okay without a garrison, even. But this should easily be enough to push them back. Or not, apparently. This actually believes that they're going to be evenly matched against me, and as I look at this, maybe they are. We both have really weird armies with only 1 proper unit of infantry. I outnumber him greatly, but he does have more upgrades than me, which apparently is significant. Or chariot archers are chariot archers might just be busted. They have 2 hit points, despite being a relatively normal unit. I was not expecting this. They also have more ammunition than God, apparently. I'm gonna get to this at the end of the turn. Or maybe never, because, none of this really matters, right? Once I win the Civil War, the campaign ends, so I don't need to waste my time with this. Speaking of, let's take a look at this diplomat and start trying to bribe members of the Senate. Is this the faction leader? Yeah, so I can't bribe him. But I can bribe everyone else. Wait, why can't I bribe him? Is it because I'm in an alliance? Yes, it is!
If we may have a private word. Well,
oh my god.
Put it like that.
Okay, so you can't bribe people if you're in an alliance with them? I have no recollection of that, but it's probably because I never use alliances. Okay. So now that I know that, my diplomat's just going to be hanging around for a while until I declare the war. So, let's figure out how far from declaring war we are. Next turn, we're going to be growing, and it's going to be the turn where we finally figure out how this works. So first, we got to get these people in the city and retrain them now, because it's their literal last chance to be retrained. Let's take all of this cavalry and send it somewhere else. Does this place have a stables, actually? I don't actually know I've built stables anywhere. Yes, Segesta has a stable, so I'm going to send all of these cavalry to Segesta to be retrained. And I need all of these peasants to continue on to Batavium so that it actually has a garrison and won't fucking rebel. And let's handle the infrastructure of building more units everywhere now. And Sparta's out of population, so the only thing they're building is war dogs. May as well put a diplomat, I suppose. I have this boat swing around to the center of the Peloponnesus, or not the center of the Peloponnesus, but north of the Peloponnesus, so I can pick up the armies next turn. Oh wait, is this the guy on the boat? Shit, this is the wrong boat. First things first, let's use the correct boat down here to put this man in charge of an army. Oh, there's 2 men here. Well, I'll take out 1 light cavalry then. Sir, you're supposed to be in the boats. Alright, I suppose you can just not be on the boat if you don't want to. I still want to bring these guys down to command other armies, so I'll just have this boat do that as well. Are there rebels nearby? These look like a shitload of rebels. Yeah. So, I'll be doing this next turn. I won't be leaving the boat out at sea. I'm going to pretend I'm just here to check for mercenaries in these lands. Which I am finding, to be fair. And this boat's going to be the one that actually serves as the ferry for this land. Or for this army, rather, so I'll have it moved down right now. Because next turn is going to be, I think, the last turn of building legions. I think we're at the point where we're officially setting up our armies to invade Rome. Speaking of, what is this boat doing? It's coming to join up with this fleet. So that's that. Here I need to have my units actually get off the boat and go take Sidon, which is rioting, apparently. And in Salamis, I really want to build a port, but I can't. The city is too small. So there's no safe harbor for this boat. It just has to come back up and hang out at Antioch. This doesn't even have a general, but it should easily be able to win this fight all the same. Ah, yes, I forgot about this. I literally can't leave Antioch here. Eventually, this will be another army, but also, none of this really matters, does it? And I have, at this point, I have enough units here, and I've depleted the stack so heavily that I can come fight it in a few turns. Like next turn when I just have the movement to do it. And let's actually see how many archers can leave this city. Can all of them get out? No. Gotta leave at least one behind. And Antioch's gonna require a pretty fucking big garrison for a while, I reckon. Yeah, they still have an unrest of 60%. Jesus. Which means we have two battles against Egypt that we need to fight this turn. This one might be auto-resolvable, but I don't want to risk my Cretan archers and Rhodian slingers in an auto-resolve. Simultaneously, I also don't want to fight Egyptian chariots with chevrons in a city square. So what does auto-resolve say? Because I'd really prefer not to do this. Just sounds very unfun to play. It says that, like, this is a one-sided stomp. And it is. I just have to deal with this unit, and it could be very, very anti-fun. Clear victory, I lose 3,500. Who's ever in the history of the world has said 3,500 and not 350? But yeah, I will gladly do that. I will gladly enslave. I think I'm pulling a merchant back and taking ownership of him right now. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Oh, they're very unhappy. So I would enslave, but I'm actually going to exterminate instead. Because, yeah, they are pissed off right now. They are very unhappy. And I assume this is max garrison as well. Yeah. So the problem is not the level of garrison. The problem is just that they're, you know, very culturally different and far from my capital. And the only thing I can do to help them is destroy this temple and build my own. And of course we're building to Jupiter because we care about happiness first and foremost, and lowering the taxes is enough right now. Thankfully my governor has no influence, so I think that means that if he were to leave the city, no difference. So now we have to start figuring out how much army can actually leave. It looks like pretty much the whole army can leave. Like, the only thing I have to leave behind are these incredibly damaged units of Astadi and Equites to someday be retrained. Which is nice. And I can also just hire more mercenaries here. They're not the mercenaries I would want, but the army is simply too small to not hire mercs. And we're going to start heading southwest and looking for this Seleucid city, which I believe is somewhere in this strip of land. I'm not quite sure. Oh, it's further north than I thought it was. It's Damascus. But I will drop a watchtower here just for general vision reasons. And this is one of the situations where I can actually justify doing the movement glitch, where you send your general first to start the siege, build the rams with your general, then have the army join up, and now they're contributing to the build points of these rams. There's a fairly large Egyptian stack right here, isn't there? This army might not be doing it very well after all. Oh, this army has literally no infantry. This is, either very easy or literally impossible to win, depending on what's in the Egyptian army, isn't it? And honestly, looking at Batavium, I'm probably going to end up destroying this muster field and this trader to reduce culture penalty. But I'll worry about doing that in the future, if I actually have to do it once my faction leader leaves. Because my faction leader is also just a damn fine general. Just, that list goes on for a while, doesn't it? And one thing I can do, actually, is, like, go and check my retinues and move them around. But I'm going to be honest, that just sounds like a lot of work that I don't want to do. I don't care what my generals have at this point. I have overwhelming numerical superiority, and I'm going to rely on that rather than anything else. So now the only thing left is this fight here between these two stacks. And they're both not really stacks, that's an exaggeration. Oh, thank God, I can hire another unit of mercenary Peltast. But, honestly, fighting these fucking chariots seems like a nightmare. They have melee 11 and 2 hit points, which is, you know, God, why can't you check the stats of general units in this game? And if you can, why is it so hard to do? But the point is that this is similar attack and health points to a general unit. They have terrible defense, but this fight seems infuriating when you actually like look at the number of chariots that are upgraded in that enemy army. Like, these light cavalry are going to break trying to deal with 2 HP units that have 11 attack. Because light cavalry has no fucking morale. These guys have what? Morale 4? Yeah, morale 4, and the Numidian cavalry actually has morale 8, to my enormous shock. But yeah, Equites have trash morale. These have literally the worst morale in the game and also get outranged by superior units. So now that I'm here looking at this, honestly, I'm just gonna hang out. I'm legitimately considering building a fort if the game would let me, but I can't because I'm too close to the enemy. But looking at this, I don't believe for a second I can take these units with, like, this army. I have no morale, they have 2 hit points and high attack, so they're going to kill my units and cause chain routes. This isn't actually a thing you can do. Which I think means I just stand here awkwardly for the end of this turn. And I also think that means that we just end our turn now. Is there something else I should be doing somewhere that I'm forgetting? Probably, right? Yes, boats in the Black Sea. And there's no generals up here, which sort of sucks. So I suppose I'm just going to have all of this get on the first boat, and the second boat's just going to trail behind. And despite not having generals, these armies are pretty fucking scary. There's at least one Doomstack in here, and then there's a bunch of riffraff, like these Barbarian Mercs and these injured Thracians. And next turn, these are going to continue towards Armenia, which will inevitably become a war. At some point, they honestly might just be walking into field of view with a stack in a couple of turns. Because at this point, I'm a neighbor on, like, their entire western front. But I believe that's it for now, so let's get on with it. Ah yes, the governor of Patavium is coming to Arretium, where he can live out his life in shame. It's interesting they didn't want to siege this army, but they are willing to fight it in the field. And I wonder if I'm more willing to fight this when I'm the defender, when I'm not walking towards them. And the answer is fuck no, I'm going to withdraw. Just get back in the city. Well, I didn't actually withdraw, but I did get a unit of Equites as reinforcements. So, now we have to do this. Let's go see how it'll go and if I was right to be cautious. To increase my odds. What the fuck? Already? Oh, and then I crashed. Well, I was hoping that I would chain route from there. But I guess I'll go do it again and lose again. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Okay, so we're more or less back where we started last time. Let's get into it.
Reinforcements have arrived, but are they in time to take part in the battle?
What is happening here? Seems very hard to get my units to actually listen to me and form up where I want them to. So I'm doing the same thing I did last time, only with a better understanding of why I'm doing it. Which is I'm trying to pull their missile units this way and get my cavalry off on the wing much further away. And I think this oasis here really fucks up pathfinding. And I do want to be trying to get a flank with these cavalry, even though I could be fighting their infantry. Okay. Want one general on one flank, the other general on the other flank. All the Equites lined up between and in front of them. And at this point, I do want to have all of my actual infantry try to get involved. Am I being charged by fucking missile cavalry? Like, I know apparently you're better than Equites in melee combat, but Jesus, calm down. Okay. So, my left Equites get sent against the left general, or the left chariot, rather, not even generals. They're not even generals, they just feel like they're generals. Alright. These are the Pharaoh's bowmen. All of this needs to be moving up. Yeah, the Equites are already routing in places. Oh wait, that's the Egyptian chariots routing. Let's pull this back then. You guys just need to try to ride down this man. The rest of my cavalry needs to line up versus the other chariot. You need to be here. All of you need to be formed up behind him. Okay, these can back off. All of this cavalry can charge here. The rest of you can move forward, and these can also move forward. Phalanx is in. Javelins are doing their job. Gonna have this group of javelins move out on the right, and this one move out on the left. It's already in range of this guy, so it's fine. And now we can collapse on their general, since we're on him from all sides. This went tremendously better than last time. That was a fortuitous crash, I guess. It also made me realize better how I need to be controlling the army, just by having some practice for the fight.
Great gods be praised! The enemy general is killed. Fear makes a home in.
Yeah, I think I just leave everything here exactly as it is, and wait for the cavalry to line up and solve the problem. And this should be everything quickly sorted out, and I want these to cut fire at will and actually charge. Yep, that's the battle. Just gonna mop them up real quick. Well, compared to losing my general instantly in the opening charge, this went a lot better, didn't it? It looks like this kind of fight has to be played with trying to get us around on their cavalry, or the chariots rather. And even then, there's like, I didn't do that much better this time than last time. There's just a chance my general can die. I really should have hit the rally button before charging in to make him blow the horn and fall back. This fight feels incredibly nasty, and I don't feel like what I did would consistently win, based on literal evidence before me. Oh, they're actually not stopping my siege. They're just moving on to attack my lands. Little do they know I have a full fucking Doomstack ant garrisoning in Antioch. City's too unhappy for anything less. Alright, so I'm gonna do the thing I do all too often, which is send this one unit of depleted cavalry to go see what's in this army. And oh god, it's even worse than the last army. Alright, good luck, depleted cavalry. I'm gonna get back inside the city, probably. Going to retrain and recruit more. Now, meanwhile, what's happening elsewhere? Message from the Senate. You need to leave, says the Senate. Oh, he actually lived, even though I did anything before he showed up. Nice. And Batavium has finally grown, which means that we can start... Oh, it's actually called the Imperial Palace, not the Consul's Palace. I thought it would upgrade from Pro-Consul to Consul, but I guess I'm wrong. And we've now confirmed that it's 5 turns after you hit 24,000, and not just hitting 24,000. Which all but guarantees that we don't do a single thing with the Mayor Reforms this game. Now, first, let's start figuring out what our units are doing around the world. I'm going to move the boat up to here, where I'm going to drop off the army, hire any mercs that are available. There aren't any here, but I can step up into this next region with my general only and see if there are mercenaries here. The answer is no. And now with the last of the boat's movement, I'm going to put him back in. Oh no. Well, he's probably going to die horrifically then, isn't he? However, there's no reason to move him anywhere, since he's in the best position right now and he can't make it to a port. I'll be leaving him where he is. The point of this fleet was to ferry around these generals. The best thing you can do this turn is to drop them off and then get in the port. And they can move down as far as they want. And now we start preparing our last big attack. So we have Hastati and Equites, or Hastati and Principes from Sparta. We have Hastati and Equites from Corinth. We have Hastati from Athens. Really seems like they should be producing better units than that, huh? We have Principes and Equites from Larissa. We have just Hastati from Thermon, or just Equites rather. And this is actually more than one stack. So in Thermon, I'm going to produce another boat. Going to send the Equites and Thermon up to get on that boat on their own. And I'll have them join up with this other Equites here. And out of fear for pirates, which I know are around somewhere, this army is going to be staying right here on the boat for this turn, even though the boat could move a little bit. I mean, so far I've never seen a boat sunk on the first time it took damage, and also, I will do this. It theoretically can't possibly lose much movement at all. The boat would just get pushed back, and they'd be able to start walking along the coast. This seems like it's just better than staying on the boat in the port. Now, this army is actually already set up, but I want it organized properly. So I'm going to have my cavalry first go stand next to this man. Then I'm going to have my Principes and then my Hastati. So the army is properly organized. Here we need to drop these units off near Iridium. Now we can retrain these units in Iridium. Since Iridium is actually improving the quality of people's weaponry, I want as many units that don't have improved weapons in Iridium as possible to get that bonus. And it looks like Iridium is actually struggling without a garrison, so I need to make sure I have a garrison ready for that city as well. But I reckon that I can probably improve all of these units' weaponry. I can. And this unit's weaponry, and probably these generals as well. Yeah. So next turn we'll continue working on those generals. And this turn I'm actually just going to be recruiting peasants. I'm pretty much done recruiting military. I just need garrisons for later on. And of course I haven't actually recruited anything this turn here. So I will, instead of training one of these, recruit a unit of peasants. These Hastati need to come down to join the army. Batavium is able to recruit more archers, no problem, and send these archers down, I imagine. If I look at its garrison size right now, I can see I have a garrison of 20%, even with all of these peasants. It's very sad. So we're going to need to figure out who the fuck is staying behind a garrison Batavium, actually. So this man has an influence of 3, and is almost certainly, therefore, going to be the eventual governor of Batavium. Because I'm not leaving my 7-star commander faction leader in Batavium during the Civil War. That's ridiculous. And of course I need peasants here, and to send this man and his Hastati down to join the war. And if I were going for world conquest, I would be using this money for actually, you know, important things. I'd be making buildings with it, but I'm just saving it for bribing in the final leg of the campaign. Oh, and I'd actually forgotten there's a diplomat here who should be getting on this boat. Because he's also going to be participating in that whole bribery thing I was talking about. Because the faction heir is in this stack, I don't believe I'm able to bribe this stack. I have to actually kill it. Oh! I have 2 sieges I have to handle for this turn. I'd completely forgotten about these. They both look like they might be auto-resolvable, so let's see how that goes. Because I really don't want to fight these. The campaign's so close to ending. Like, come on. Are you really going to lose units against this? Yeah, you're going to lose 500 of them. Alright, cool.
Victory and glory!
If I were to auto-resolve this other one, which is even easier by the look of it, do I still lose? This one is apparently pretty close. They don't even win that one. Oh, so I have to fight both of those manually. Jesus. So, first off, let's actually go deal with the Seleucid city. Like, this should be a fucking slaughter. Losing 500 versus this is completely unacceptable. Okay, so this is the same thing that we do every time, basically. We have sent 3 rams to poke 3 different holes in the wall. All our ranged units run up to push any defenders away. Gonna be pretty straightforward slaughter on this one. Jesus Christ, the sheer number of missiles hitting this unit of, what is it, peasants? Dear Lord.
Our soldiers are at the walls. Now they must batter our way through.
Imagine losing 500 men in this fight. Now, I'm going to try to use this unit of mounted camel archers as bait. I believe that I can get them here and pull units down this main corridor. Yeah, their general's coming after me now, and that means their general is just fucked. The poor guy.
The enemy general is running away.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
the way for a leader to behave, but in battle, it's beyond belief.
And now we're gonna do the same thing with the hoplites, which should be so much easier.
Is dead.
Yeah, this is just sad to watch, isn't it? Sad in terms of my pathfinding, sad in terms of their pathfinding. Just sad in every respect. Anyway, we lost 11 men, substantially less than the 500 that auto-resolve picked. If I've learned anything from this campaign, it's that I clearly undervalued missile units when I was a child. I don't believe they're actually happy. I'm just gonna mass exterminate this area of the world. Like, I've already got to the point where I'm triggering mirroring forms. So let's get out of here. So I want all of these units except for the Stadi, I guess? And let's see what they're actually doing. Oh, they're completely fine. Wild. I'm gonna recruit a diplomat to start bribing enemies, because I fuck fighting these armies. These armies probably cost like 5,000 to kill, but in terms of actually winning a battle would be brutally difficult. And I can't afford to destroy their shrine and build my own. To Jupiter, as always. Now this army can't quite get there as reinforcements, but I'm wondering about the general could. He can bring his cavalry with him. So I'm going to have the general and all his cavalry come help. Missed one unit of equites. Have the rest of this just move down to get close to the army so that they can all regroup later. This does not look like a fucking general unit, does it? Here is their normal, no one's commanding the army appearance, and here is their general commanding the army appearance. It's very upsetting. Anyway, let's deal with this fight. Although the conditions have changed, I've added a lot of units to this army. Maybe they can actually, you know, beat a single piece of general's cavalry. They still think it's gonna be pretty close. 5 fucking hit points. It's Britain all over again. Alright, I see. Can I auto-resolve? I really would like to not do this. Well, you know, he did kill 500 fucking men. But on the flip side, they were all equites. I'm actually going to accept this. I just really don't want to fight that. I'd like to wrap up the campaign, and fighting that is slowing me down in it. Going to enslave here, which seems backwards, because it sort of is. Now, these bastards don't actually have a stables. So they can't actually retrain all of these equites they just killed. Well, I will have them give better equipment to the units that are still whole. And they are definitely going to be rioting next turn. Like, not even close to not rioting. Yeah, so you enslave a city this big, and it still has 12,000 population, they're just going to be fucking furious. Odds are I have to conquer Sidon again, and I have to exterminate anytime I see this icon. And from that, I got an Egyptian turncoat and a decorated hero, so that's not all bad. And up here, we're finally able to, like, actually get an army together and go deal with these Seleucids. But I think we're going to do that next time. For this time, let's end the video the way I would like to end every video for the rest of time. Just throwing arrows into a defenseless mass of militia hoplites. So, like, what is that? Another 500 men killed? 334 men killed, no casualties, just like always. This has been rather incoherent. I pity the army of Alexander. He is no Alexander the Great, that is for damn sure. And I hope you liked the video. If you did, then please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. And I'll see you around.